on?
Costume for the June show.
Oh, cool. That looks pretty.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Okay, do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Awesome. So the first question I have for you is, what does burlesque mean to you?
Self-love, respect, not being afraid, not letting your fears get a hold of you.
Beautiful. That was a beautiful answer. I love it. And how long have you been doing burlesque?
About 2 years, I think. A little over 2 years.
Yeah, I think we started at the same time,
Yeah,
huh?
I think so.
And how long have you been with the Moxies?
I've been with the Moxies since the beginning, when the Moxies had no name. I was there at the very first show when everything happened with the split, and they did a Rocky Horror Picture Show, I guess, in Davis, and then that was in October. The very next month is when the Moxies started, in November.
I didn't know there was a Rocky Horror show.
Yeah.
How did you come up with your stage name?
Oh, my stage name. I love my stage name. I actually have a 1970 Ford Mustang Coupe, and she's old. She's got dings in her and dents in her, and she's got a whole bunch of scars, and I've always loved the name Scarlet, and she actually was a gift from my husband. He gave her to me, and I named her Scarlet, and then when I found the troupe, I was like, oh, I have to have this name.
You already had it ready, huh?
Yeah, I did,
yeah.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite act that you've done?
There's been a lot. The funnest one that I like to do, that I just have fun at, is Amadeus. My Amadeus one.
Yeah, and you seem like you have more and more fun every time you do it, too. Like
I do. That one, it's just... And I've done it so many times where it's like, I don't even need to really pay attention to the music. It just happens.
Just flows?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your favorite act that's been on the Moxie stage?
That's a really, really hard one. They're all really, really... Look, I'm getting goosebumps. They're all really, really good. Man, I don't think I could pick a favorite, because they're all just really
And there's,
good.
probably so many that are favorites for certain different reasons.
Yeah.
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 And what is your favorite thing about being a Moxie?
The camaraderie, the familyness, I know every single person in the troupe is there for everyone else, and I just love being a part of that.
I agree. Okay, so what is your favorite Moxie memory?
That would be Burlesque when the whole troupe went. Walking through the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning with all of us like zombies, and then when we got in the plane and we're all sitting there and we took our selfie, and then we're all just like freaking pumped up, and I've never experienced anything like Burlesque, and just the plane, just being with everybody, just that whole trip.
I mean, there's a reason why this has been everybody's answer so far.
Yeah. It changed my life.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I agree.
That trip did, totally.
Yeah. Okay, what made you want to do burlesque?
That's probably seeing how open the audience is to different types of bodies and shapes and sizes and colors and everything in between was really eye-opening. And one of the other performers that isn't in the troupe anymore, but when I saw her perform, I was like, oh my god, I could do that. Like, I can do that.
Yeah. And that's great too, because it's like, I think that there's a lot of times where we inspire just our audience to be like, okay, well, it doesn't take this, like, specific kind of body to be able to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It just takes the creativity.
Exactly.
And the confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is your favorite Moxie performer?
Oh, jeez, you can't ask me that.
I can, and I did.
Yeah, well, I can't. Look, I got goosebumps again. No, I don't have a favorite.
No pressure,
I don't have a favorite. Everybody's my favorite. Everybody as a collective whole is amazing.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't have a favorite.
Deal. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so how has burlesque influenced the way you see your body?
I'm okay with myself more. I'm more accepting and more like, this is me, and I'm not gonna try to hide it, all of it, and if you don't like it, don't look.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Step outside, have a cigarette.
You know, there's a reason why I go a little bit above and beyond with my costumes, because I know I'm not the typical look, I guess you could say. And so I wanted to make sure that it was still appealing to the eye, for everyone's eye.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So what is a physical limitation you have with performances, and how do you alter your performances to accommodate it?
I have a really bad knee, and my bone like grinds, and so I can't do too much floor work. I can't do too much on my knees, and having to be down and getting up is a challenge, and so I just try to not do that stuff.
Yeah.
I try to make sure that I have, you know, a lot of colors in my costumes, and a lot of stuff where they're still like, ooh, that's really amazing. Oh my god, she really just lit her corset on fire. Even though I didn't get down on the floor. Right. Because I can't. So.
Yeah, well, nobody has to even notice.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm crying.
Yep. Okay, and what is a song or artist that you really want to perform to, but you haven't?
That's hard. Baddie's actually been really awesome. She's let me do my weird Slipknot routine, and my 5-finger routines, and my Pantera routines, and what else? Ghost Inside. You know, I don't think there's actually a band that I haven't been able to do, because she's been so open to letting me do.
What about one that just hasn't fit themes, or haven't figured out the right act for it?
That's a good question. Shit. Okay, I have one. In this moment, there's a song called Sex Metal Barbie.
That is an epic name.
It's kind of rock, and there's even a little bit of hip-hop in it, and it's just kind of a raunchy song, and that's probably one that I'm like, ooh, I really want to do that, but I have no idea where it would fit.
Yep. How did you feel the first time you performed on the burlesque on stage?
I was freaking petrified. I was scared so bad I thought I was going to throw up or pass out. And once it was over, I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait. I need to do it again.
That seems to be the general consensus.
Yeah, pretty much.
How would you describe your personal brand of burlesque?
I'm out there. I don't know if that's considered neo burlesque, but it's not your typical like classic. It's not your typical. It's just, you know, it's not your typical. I like to do odd things and to kind of test the boundaries, especially with Baddie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What's the strangest thing you've worn on stage?
I have two parts to that. The strangest thing I wore on stage was a cardboard box that was in the shape of Optimus Prime.
Yes.
That wasn't actually
So good.
Did transform. And then the strangest thing that I've taken off, or the strange way I've taken stuff off, was I lit my corset strings on fire, and it popped my corset off. And then I've taken knives and I've cut my costumes off.
I think that when you lit your corset on fire, that was one of my favorite moments, period.
Yeah, that was one that Baddie was like, I don't know, and I'm like, just please, just trust me, just let me do this.
I'm pretty sure I didn't even,
let me do this.
I'm pretty sure I didn't even know you were doing it until you did it.
Yeah, I don't think I even wanted Baddie to tell anybody. I think I was just like, just let everybody just be like, oh my gosh, you just did that.
Okay, so what are the acts that you're doing in June?
This costume that I'm working on right now is an instrumental song by 5-Finger Death Punch. It's actually more of a melodic rock, I guess, and the other one is by Shaman's Harvest, the song called Dangerous. That's actually one that I've done at Moxie Crush. That was the one that I actually cut my costume off, and I'm going to cut my costume off again.
Yes. Okay, what inspires you as a performer?
Lots of different stuff inspire me. Movies, cartoons, freaking TV shows watching with my kids. Other
I can see that.
other people's acts. Not necessarily to like steal it, but like, oh, how she took that off would be a really cool way to take something else off like that in that aspect. Like,
yeah.
she took a top off like that, would be cool to take a skirt off like that.
Yeah. Well, there's a
Something
certain
like
amount
that.
of like, you know, there's people saying things about like stealing things from acts, and it's like, well, I mean, how much are you stealing? Because, I mean, moves are done over and over again, and
Exactly.
it's, you know,
And
gaining inspiration from other people is not a bad thing.
Yeah, and that performer probably got that idea from somewhere else, so it's just down the chain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the last question. If you were to change your stage name right now, what would you change it to?
It would be from the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And the main character's name was Truly Scrumptious. And that would be my stage name.
I feel like that would be really good for someone who does a lot of food burlesque.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, ever since I was little, I've always loved that name.
All right. Cool. Well, that's it. That's all the questions I have.
Cool.
Thanks for inviting me into your home.
Thanks for coming.
All right. Bye.
Bye.